So excited.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, if it's a calling, your intellect, your mind, and your ego can't stop it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of reminds me of Shivambu. It just like bypasses your normal routes to understand stuff, and it goes right
Yeah.
in.
And
It goes right in.
yeah. And I realized yesterday that I like hit a new point because I have so much evolving on the floor around me. And up until yesterday, I'd been like, kind of like, oh my God, it just smells so much in my house. And then yesterday I was sitting there and suddenly I was like, oh my goodness, it smells good. I now think that this smells good. And I was like, what? I know that's what y'all had spoken on, you and Megan, and it happened for me yesterday. I didn't know that that was really possible.
Me
So
too.
now my house smells really good.
Yeah, my whole room smells like it. It's like a musky smell. I love it.
Yeah, mine's my entire house because it's stored everywhere. I don't. We probably have like 40 bottles, so I don't know. We need
Wow.
a.
I want to go see. I want to go see your water museum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and then I have crystals all around all of them. I don't know. I read that that could help charge it
That's
and evolve
cool.
it faster. So we'll see.
Did you
Heck
see
yeah,
the
that's a great
Did you see
idea.
the video I made of? I had a 2-quart bottle jar. It was a ball jar, and inside it was underneath a copper pyramid that one right behind me there, and then hanging down the middle was a crystal pendulum,
Oh,
Ah,
cool.
and
I
it's sitting
haven't seen
on
that.
a purple Nikola Tesla plate.
Ah, that's awesome.
Amazing.
So some of us will try anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was a full moon, I charged mine with the moon, and then the next day I put it in the sun, so it's sun and moon charged, and I wrote that on it.
Oh,
Beautiful,
amazing.
yeah. And what I asked, God, what is her name? Interviewed her. I interviewed her last year. Veda. Veda.
Oh, Beta Austin.
Veda Austin. Yeah, I got the chance to interview her. And I said, you're doing just awesome work. And it was I asked if she was familiar with the work of Emoto, where he
Yeah.
took pictures of water and put words across the jar and noticed the changes in the molecular structure and the crystal structure of the water after you had 2 sets of words: love, peace, joy, hate, rage, whatever it was, the negative side and the dark side. I said, why don't you do that with urine?
Yeah, that's a good
Mhm.
idea, actually.
That's what I have all my intentions on my paper placed on top with all the crystals. So yeah, I already have that too.
So you're doing it, yeah. And are you
Yeah.
noticing any change in the structure?
Well, I've had mine that way almost the whole time, so I don't know. I mean, it's amazing, so it works.
In crystal world, that's how it goes. And in Catherine world, that's how it goes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try that.
I've got 2 jars at all times that are sitting in a windowsill. So the eastern sunrise, before it gets high noon and crosses over the house, it comes in and charges those bottles.
Hmm.
And
Perfect.
I'm sure we might find some more. If we contact Matt Senna and all the guys that are into energy devices, he'll have his in a red room that's near infrared and just
Oh, wow.
all kinds of stuff. So
Oh, he puts it around infrared. Okay. I didn't think of that one. I go to infrared sauna like 3 times a week. Maybe I'll try and just experiment and see what happens if I bring it in there with me.
is it far infrared or near infrared? There's different light spectrum.
Okay.
Huh.
This one, I'm not very knowledgeable in infrared, but it's probably not the right one because it's the one that makes you sweat.
Yeah, well, that's the one I was used to until I heard Matt talk about the near infrared. And a friend of mine has a 2-person redwood sauna with that in it.
What's the
Well,
difference?
I mean, my membership is quite expensive, so I'd imagine it should be the one that's better. It's a new place. But now I need to look into it.
Sure.
Is that one make you sweat as well?
Yeah, it takes me about 20 minutes to break sweat.
Okay.
So is it better? Is it better to have near?
Well, up until a year ago, I never heard of it.
Yeah, me either.
And so we're talking about another spectrum of light.
Okay.
And only the people who understand that language and those words can explain it. I'm not that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not that interested in it. There's so much other stuff. It's like I go and I'm like, I know it works.
Yeah,
it works.
You're in the best light source in the world, the sun.
Yeah, I just go to get a deep sweat in because I used to run a lot. And so it kind of for me feels almost like that feeling of running a lot without having to run a lot. And at my sauna, there's a huge TV and I can put on like a meditation, or I can watch. I watched one of your videos, which is how I ended up in this training because I found you on YouTube and I watched that while I was in the sauna. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. And I'm sure we're going to find out new ways to use this water and this technology, because it's almost like every day somebody out in the water family goes, have you tried so and so and so and so? I'm going, no, let's try that. And it's been very humbling for me since I started, publishing books and talking. Over the years, 8 to 10 new protocols showed up that weren't even on my radar, like the handheld nebulizer.
Yeah, right. I saw that you had a pyramid over one of your Shivambu jars.
Yes.
And I thought that's a good idea.
Yeah, it was a copper pyramid, and inside the jar was a crystal pendulum that was my wife's. And
what did it?
I didn't see the pendulum. Okay.
That's it. You just happen to have one outside. That's amazing.
Yeah. I use it for meditation. It's so amazing.
That's
but
cool.
Yeah.
Where do you get them?
I got it at this Conscious Expo, but they do have them on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Is that different than Amazon regular?
Oh, I don't know. I think the app is actually called that, so I don't know.
Okay, I think the Amazon
free delivery.
Prime, Amazon Prime is a different
free delivery. Yeah.
It's a different membership altogether. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's do a communion and get our class. Right. If nobody shows up, it's all ours. What a ride. I tell you, this journey with the Shivambu will never be boring for you guys.
That's true.
That's great. Yeah.
The quality and the remarkability of the souls that are going to be coming into your life will be just so breath-giving and humbling. You're going, I'm on the right path. I did it right.
Yeah.
So, Crystal, would you like to share a prayer or make up one for our communion?
Sure.
Just take a breath and let it come through.
So, as we drink our sacred water, let us remember our true presence, our highest consciousness, so that we may be in alignment with our highest frequency and feel into our heart and be led by our heart in every moment. Cheers.
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 Zindabad. You know what Zindabad means now, right?
I forgot. Let me write it down. Zindabad.
Zindabad. Let me spell it. It means long live. Like if you say Zindabad.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Zindabad, the king.
Zindabad, the king. Zindabad. I don't know if that's the perfect spelling, but you get the idea.
Oh, I was going to say one thing that I noticed with looping, since I started looping the day after I tried my Shivambu and I've never stopped. I realized that I needed to actually drink water too. And I was only looping. Yeah. And maybe since I spent a lot of time outside and I'm doing like breath work and Kundalini yoga, I think I was getting a little, just,
Loopy?
I would get more brain foggy. So once I started to drink more water with it, I still was drinking all my Shivambu, but that seems to have really helped with that. And I was getting more, I start to get really kind of tired in the afternoon. And I didn't really understand what was happening, but that seems to have gotten way better. So I don't know if y'all have experienced that or if it's just me.
It was the inclusion of the water.
I was only drinking my Shivambu, like no water. I would literally wake up and only have that. And now I wake up and I drink water first, and then I drink my Shivambu, and then I'm kind of mixing in water as well.
Okay. Is this like
So
24 hours Shivambu? Or no, it's fresh.
it's fresh, and I will use some drops if of evolved. And then I'm also doing an enema with it every day too. But I was just getting a little tired and kind of like brain foggy. And so I think I was experiencing some dehydration. So
Okay. Well, you found a remedy.
yeah, it was really easy actually.
The other thing you can do is get out your evolving Orin.
Yeah.
This is my 3-year-old superstar, and either put a whole dropper full, under your tongue, or snort it up your nose. You know, put some on your temples, put some on your synagogues, put some on your mosques, just wherever you can, and see if that doesn't help.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't have a 3-year-old. I wish one day. I'm like, I would be willing to pay some money if somebody wants to sell me their 3-year-old.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because Doc Mike, when he wanted to get some of his vintage Orin, which is 12-year-old, he shipped it to me, and I delivered it to Indira for VJ. And
wow.
I don't want to part with mine.
I know. I was like, I don't think I could sell it. But I had to buy some. Somebody has some for sale.
Well, I've got some in the bathroom. I think it's a year old.
I want to buy like some 5-year-old.
I think we got a whole new home-based business going on here. There was some guy in California, says, "Do you think I could ship urine to people? I could bottle it and ship it to people?" I said, "Well, the people in India, they bottle cow urine, they call it gamucha, and they ship it worldwide. But you're going to have to get a lot of people together."
Wow, gamucha, huh?
How's it going to keep up demand? I mean, it's called gamutra. And that's their name for cow urine. So before we get into class, I'm going to ask you guys some questions. What would you say, and anybody can answer this, what would you say is the advantage of drinking up the nose, which that could be either sniffing, snorting, however you get up your nose, versus orally through the mouth? What would the advantage be?
That you would stimulate potentially your pineal gland, which is the seat of your soul, and home to your intuition there in your third eye, like that's all there, and just opening up your nasal passages, so you're going to have more clarity overall in your brain, and it will start cleansing your brain and probably help with, I would imagine, with everything in your brain, which is where a lot of issues down the line that people are having, like Alzheimer's and everything. So it would help clean the brain, and that's just amazing that there's the possibility.
And it gives a whole new meaning to the word brainwashing.
Yeah.
So think about it. What goes in the mouth goes straight down the esophagus, down that way. What goes in the nose goes up higher, up through here. And you can't get up to here by drinking down to there. You can, but
When I drink through the nose, it doesn't feel like it's going up there. It feels like it's just going through my sinuses and down.
Yes.
I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it go up here unless I snort it.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. You want to get into the higher cavities in the portals.
But you're talking about drinking it, absolutely.
You can either, boom, use
but drinking it doesn't do that, does it?
Drinking in the nose. Oh, drinking down the throat? No.
No, drinking through the nose doesn't really go up there. It feels like it's just, you know, like a neti pot. A neti pot goes through here and then down the, you know. And
Right.
so from my experience, it's like clearing up a lot of my allergies. So like my allergies were all throat and sinus. And so now I'm feeling like totally much more clear drinking it through the nose.
Okay, I suggest you go to Google and look at a picture of a skull and a brain. You'll see that there are two passageways. There's one that goes straight down, and then there's another one behind whatever this bone is right here that goes behind the nose and down the throat. So as it's up here, it's going to cross into the blood-brain barrier, which is this thin membrane, and that way the nutrients are able to get into the brain and all the different cavities of the brain and the skull.
And that's just with drinking, not snorting.
However you get it up here, if you drink it and can get it in that area, or if you can snort it or snort up on a cotton ball, you're going to reach the higher sinuses and you're going to get into the pineal gland and the higher regions of the brain.
Okay, well, that's what I want to do. So, yep.
So get busy snorting or whatever you have to do. We're going to go into protocols today. We're going to see how we come up with these protocol suggestions. Because when people contact you, they'll say, well, I have constipation, or I have a heart condition, or I have arthritis, or I have whatever their condition is. And after doing this enough times and your intuition kicks in, you'll see, okay, I would recommend oral, I'd recommend enemas, I'd recommend fasting, and it's laid out in my book, so you get what's called the general treatment suggestions. And these are different than doctor recommended diagnoses and prescriptions.
Right.
We're not in that world. We ain't going there. But as natural healing facilitators, by the way, you're not healers, so I hope you didn't get sucked into that idea. You're a healing facilitator to help the individual to find their balance. So we teach them that you're responsible, you have intuition, and you can do this. So we're going to talk about that today.
Okay.
Any questions? Any new discoveries from Tuesday? Anything improving your health that you're aware of, even if it was tiny?
Well, I seem to, my digestion seems to be getting, like it's going through quicker, which is good. Yeah.
Good. Bowel function good?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So drinking all of it in the morning is really like, yeah, it's just setting me off to really clean out, I think.
Good. Energy
yeah,
good?
No, that's good. I think that, I'm clearing out the bacteria, fungus, whatever's in there that's been causing all the issues all this time.
Good. And if you notice any change in your energy or sleeping patterns or sense of humor?
Energy, definitely. Although I'm like Crystal, I'm getting a lull in the afternoon where I just want to sleep. But I think that's a good thing because I wasn't getting that before.
Well,
yeah.
I'm a guy I was raised in El Paso, Texas. And so there was a big influence of the Hispanic community on my life. And one of the things they did, one of the things they did every day was the siesta.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have a meal, they'd have a siesta, some call it a nap, and then they go back to work or go back to their house and do whatever they do. Well, I got in the habit of doing that so that between clients and between things throughout the day, my energy would not be skyrocketing up the top and I would crash and burn at the end of the day. So I'm taking 15-minute meditations between clients so I can get recentered and rebalanced before I go on to the next part of the day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, play with that and see if maybe that's what your body's trying to tell you. And we're so programmed to be human doings.
I know.
We forgot what it's like to just like be ourselves, be in nature, be with somebody without, doing something, even if it's juggling words around. So who's got a book with them?
I did have a question. I don't know if we're going to be touching more on diet later,
We can do
but
it now.
since I'm new to being fruitarian, I would say like 90% fruitarian, I guess what's come up now is also the negatives of that, the potential consequences that I wasn't aware of until I started to see them out there. And I do know it's a little different because we're practicing Shavambu with it. So it's not like just what they're doing. But
Right.
since you've been on that lifestyle for 3 years, I was wondering if you've encountered any issues with your teeth that I've heard that so, and I don't know, there was quite a few things. There's like support groups for if people who did that lifestyle and had all these issues after. And I was like, what? Because I was trying to join like the fruitarian groups on Facebook because that's the only social media I use, just the group aspect on Facebook. And then that popped up, and then a YouTube video popped up, and I would like to go ahead and transmute the fear that's coming up in me because I'm uncertain and I'm new to something. So I'd rather just speak about it and hear from your actual perspective since you've been doing it for 3 years.
Yes, but I've been doing raw food since '77, so I've got that behind me.
Okay, so your teeth are great, right? I can't really see, but I hope so. Okay, you have all your teeth? All right.
Yeah.
They're not falling out. Okay. And yeah, just I don't know, like there's all these mentions of like deficiencies and like blah blah blah, so
Yes. So you have to sort out belief systems, programming, and negative emotions around our health and our health issues to get this work, to really get it.
yeah, and I feel like I have sorted that out. This was like a new thing since I literally just started. This will be the beginning of my 3rd month. January 5th. Yeah, wow, time is going so quickly. Yeah. So, and my background, it was programmed pretty hard and I got out of that. So I can easily get out of any program. I feel very great about that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
but I like my teeth. That was the thing. I was like, all right, maybe,
you want to keep them.
My grandfather's a dentist. Yeah. So I kind of like, all right. And then, yeah, but whatever.
You got great looking teeth. Keep them. So you're going to look at your belief systems. You're going to look at what ideas you inherited from your family and from your friends. You're going to look at how positive a life stream, a life force you have. And the hardest challenge we have on this journey is to navigate through our minds. Your mind is a tool. It's either going to work for you or against you. It depends on how well you use that tool. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. So have you encountered any of these people in the community who were having issues with their fruitarian diet and they were maybe doing something wrong and then they were eating? So can you go over some things that maybe not to do?
Yes. Oh, by the way, there is a large percentage of fruitarians and raw foodists that secretly eat junk food but don't admit it.
Oh, okay.
You got to probe into their lifestyle a bit to find out if they're telling you the whole picture, because it looks great on the screen.
Yeah.
Junk food meaning what? Chips and cookies, and what's junk food?
Well, anything that's not raw.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And what happens is that we still have a psychological need for comfort food.
I know. That's
Connection
the problem.
food, love, to replace the love that we're missing. So unconsciously, we go for that ice cream, or we go for that pizza, or we go for whatever it is, because we still have a pain that needs to be soothed. So psychologically, that's why people eat and binge and get off their diet, and then they feel guilty, and then they have to start all over again. So if you can catch that ahead of time, it'll make a difference. Is there more to the question, Crystal? Because I could go for a while on that one.
You know, just I didn't know if there is any certain rules with the diet that you go by. Like, I'm just, you know, whatever is at the grocery store and is ripe, I'm just eating. I'm not weighing my food. I'm just eating till I'm full, and I'm not, I don't know. I'm just kind of doing it. So I'm doing more eating this, not like a fruit cocked salad. I'm doing trying to more mono meals, but then maybe I'll have like 2 mangoes and then I'll be like, oh, I'm not full. And then there's no more ripe mangoes. So I'm like, okay, bananas, you know, and then just whatever I have.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Try looking at fruit as your reward.
As my reward?
I did really good. You did really good today. You accomplished the things you're going to accomplish today. And to treat yourself, reward yourself, you're going to have some fruit.
That's an interesting way. I don't know if I'd want to have food as a reward, though.
Okay. Yeah,
personally.
I mean, it's whatever association.
You know, okay. Because then, I don't know. I don't know if I personally want that association.
Okay.
I don't really have issues with food, luckily. Like, I don't really have a desire to eat junk food. Yeah, I had a lot of health issues for so long that required such a strict diet, supposedly, even though that diet never did anything to help me. The whole anti-candida diet, which was a joke, and I did that for strict. I had literally no fruit, no sugar, like nothing for over 2 years. And that's when I realized, oh wait, candida is not the issue. It's actually there to help me. It is there for me. And I'm trying to fight part of myself. Like us saying we want to eradicate candida, that is part of me. Like, no.
Yeah.
And it's, like the more that what we persist or what we resist is going to persist. So it was almost like I was just fighting myself and trying to starve it. And then it was like, became like this weird mental thing where it was like my thoughts were all about food. It was like, can't have this, can't go do this. It was just crazy. Yeah. So that, like now that that's passed, I don't really have any, like, I don't know. That was really freeing for me, but I don't know if I want to associate food as a reward. I guess I just want to associate food. I don't know.
Okay,
I'll get back to you.
Try this, and you've already mentioned this to the rest of the class here. Eating is optional.
Yeah, that is true.
So when you get that concept down and you integrate it, then you're eating for pleasure.
Okay.
You're not eating, see, it's a whole nother mindset when you're not eating because you feel you have to get certain nutrients in your body.
Yeah.
Or there's something lacking.
I get it.
It's a whole mindset that we're broken. Something's wrong. We got to fix ourselves. No,
yeah.
I'm going to eat because I just feel like a honey mango right now.
That one clicks for me.
Yeah.
You got that?
I mean, there's people who live off just breath.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying people live off just breath. So it's pretty amazing.
That's right.
Yeah, and there's fruitarians that do 100-mile marathons and they have like 5 pounds of bananas. I mean, a lot of it, if not most of it, has to do with our...
Oh, for sure.
What's up there?
Yeah.
So how do we shift that, do you think? Because I'm really working on shifting that mindset that I need to fix something. You know, I'm broken. I need to fix it.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
Yeah, a bunch of those. I need a lot of those.
I sent you that Vital Mind Reset that I did, and I used that. That was amazing. I mean, I think for me, it started with awareness. First, I don't identify my symptoms as being something wrong. I identify them as healing and how grateful I am for them and trusting my body.
Yeah,
So
that's that
one of the
truth.
first things I say when I wake up is that I'm in full trust. Just being in that's kind of where the shift started for me, was like just cultivating that trust in life, in God, in source, in myself, in my body, now I've kind of gotten to more of like, I don't even identify to being my body. I identify that I have this body. So I've kind of shifted more. But for me, at first it started that way. And then I had to love my body. But now I'm like, oh, I get this body. I'm a fractal of source and I get to have this human experience with this body. So yeah, but it happens. It just starts with awareness and the intention that you want to change. You want to change it. And so it will. And it already is. As soon as you're like, oh, I want this to be, then it's so it is. So it's the thoughts will keep happening, but you don't have to give your attention to them. Where
That's
your
true.
attention goes, your energy flows. So if you keep thinking, if you keep giving energy to those thoughts, the neurons are going to keep rewiring that way and firing more. And so then you're going to create a stronger pathway versus just letting that thought go and then creating a new narrative. You program what you want now, because then we're all programs. Like, let's be clear, it's all a program. So what programs do you want to live in this life?
Is what I'm realizing is that knowing all that is great, but putting it into practice is another thing. So I cognitively know that what you're saying, but putting it into practice and it becoming my reality is what's not. There's a disconnect there somewhere.
Okay,
how long have you been trying?
Good point. Well, it depends on trying what you're talking about. I've been on a search for healing, probably 30. I mean, I was a drug addict in my 20s, so I've been on a search for healing since then.
So you've been on a search for healing
now. Pardon me?
Yeah. So, but then now you realize that you don't need any healing. That's when it stops, when you realize that nothing needs to be healed.
You're right. Yes.
So
yeah.
When did that click? When that clicked, I mean, it took me about 2 years to really let go of, I mean, not like where I would still get the thoughts occasionally, about 2 years. So that's about how long cognitive behavioral therapy takes too. And I mean, I think it's just like,
yeah, I think I was put back this past year once I had this thing come up with.
But healings are, it's not linear though. So you really weren't put back because it's not a linear path. That's the thing. It's not like I'm just only going up.
Yeah, it's actually been probably what's been the biggest awakening for me.
Exactly. Yeah. So
what's going on? And yet I'm still at that place where I'm going, okay, how do I trust? Like you said, trust is the biggest key, I think, for me. Having faith and trusting.
Well, you're doing it. You're here. You showed up. You're already doing it, and you're new, and we're all new. We're all awakening. We none of us have it down.
We're evolutionaries for sure.
Yeah.
We keep evolving. So Catherine and everybody here, let's give you some 4 major power statements that you can change this experience you're having.
Vegan for how long, you said?
What's the question? I'm going to give you 4 power statements. You got a pen? Catherine, you froze.
Froze on me. I didn't hear you.
Okay, you got a pen? She froze again.
I've got a pen.
Okay, write down these 4 statements. I'm going to explain how they work, how powerful they are, and how to transform your life any second. And if you get these down, then your job is to teach the next generation. Number 1. Up until now, these are incomplete sentences. They're known as sentence stems. Draw a line to the right of the last word. Up until now.
Okay.
For example, you're gonna finish the sentence with what you've been dealing with up until now. Up until now, it was difficult for me to be a fruitarian. Up until now, it was difficult for me to change my belief systems. Up until now, it was difficult for me to give a talk in front of 1,500 people. Whatever your challenge was, that took place up until this moment.
Oh, okay. Up until now, it was difficult for me to have faith and trust.
Yeah, so keep the sentence stem so you can try this with other things from up until now. Number 2, you girls got that? Michelle? All right, number 2, I am open to the possibility of, draw a line to the right of the last word. I'm open to the possibility of healing everything today. I'm open to the possibility of knowing things I didn't know before. I'm open to the possibility of manifesting my heart's desires, whatever it is. All right. Number 3, I choose to know. Draw a line to the right of the last word. Every time you say, I don't know this and I don't know that and I don't know blah, 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 you're telling the universe that you are not ready to know. And it's going to hold back that wisdom until you say, I choose to know. And then the knowingness drops in as if it came out of nowhere. And this is how you get to know things that your mind, your intellect can't wrap itself around.
Well, that would be the same thing as I'm searching for answers, right?
You can search for answers, or you can just tell the universe, now, show me now what I need to know in this situation.
I choose to know now. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so those are the three of the power statements that I teach. Take a breath. So up until now, Catherine, what was your challenge?
Up until now, I didn't believe or trust in myself.
Okay, now say it in the now moment. What are you?
I now believe and trust in myself.
Okay,
at
so
all times.
You're open to the possibility of knowing and trusting yourself at all times.
Yes, I am open to that possibility. Yes.
When you say, I am open to the possibility, this is when miracles happen. This is when the angels step in. This is when the windows of everything, it just is revealed to you, because we're blocking our light, our good, our understanding all the time. And we don't have to do that.
I know.
It's the same with any area of your life, since it's all connected. Any questions? Today's mantra is, I'm okay.
Just the way I am.
Just the way I am. The other one which complements that is, thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my work. Thank you for my house. Thank you for my dog. Thank you for a sense of humor, whatever it is. That'll fill you up with things to be grateful for. When you practice gratitude, the universe loves to give you more to be grateful for. And when you're down on the floor, bowing before your altar, you get used to having scratched up knees like I do. And bowing so much and go, God, I got knee burns. I wasn't having sex, but I got knee burns from... Michelle, how's your journey been for the last 2 days? Unmute yourself.
I'm going to get some water.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been enjoying feeling stronger, because obviously I did the fast and just gradually just been coming back into myself, and I haven't felt this well for a good while. Last year was just very intense, and I got really out of balance, and very, very gradually over time. Yeah. All of a sudden, I felt quite dark, and this last month has been really intense, and I feel the light coming in. I feel my eyes. It's great. I did the eye soak. I got 2 little. Hang on. I got my eye bean bag, and then put it in a plastic bag, and then I got these eye.
Was it Michelle who said she had a new protocol?
I think I saw that email today, and I was going to reply, but didn't quite have time. I didn't have a new protocol. No, I think it was just I was just like thinking of the same one as you about doing the eyes and that.
Yeah, the eye mask.
Yeah, that's it. So I couldn't find an eye mask. So when I went shopping the other day, so I got these. These are like organic cotton.
Perfect.
And then I just lay down before I went to sleep. I put them in some aged urine and then put the beanbag over my eyes, over them, and that worked really great. And this morning I woke and my eyes were a little bit puffy, but I really felt a difference. I definitely felt a lot lighter in my head, and my eyes are clearer. You know, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the belly button one.
Yes.
So I've been thinking about how to keep that one on, you know, without a suction pad. That would be nice.
Yeah, well, you could put the beanbag. You could put the beanbag thing on top of it too.
Yeah. I've been trying to sort of think how I can sort of like, you know, have it on. I suppose just like, well, I was thinking of like putting some tape over it, but then, you know, tape often has not very nice chemicals in it, you know, so I just need to find some organic something, you know, some tape that, yeah, because I remember I had a magnet that I was sticking on my stomach at a certain point, and I was using some first aid tape, but my skin reacted to that, and then I realised, yeah, well, obviously it's got chemicals in it. So yeah, so I'm just
So you got to get creative.
I'm getting creative and feeling integration and feeling I'm more in my body, exercising, you know, so it feels good, feeling good.
Well, good. Congratulations. It sounds like you're making some progress.
Yeah.
Are you getting are you guys all creating a good lifestyle where you're getting plenty of exercise every day and taking care of your physical needs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm up in the mountains. I'm going to start doing cold water swimming again in the next couple of days. So, looking forward to that.
I've been practicing 3.5, 4 mile hikes every day. I got in one almost every day this week. And
wow, amazing.
Oh yeah. Come rain or shine. What, Michelle?
You look very well today.
What's the question?
You look very well today.
Thank you. Well, with all the work that I'm doing, and these are major projects in my life, breaking free from all the projects and from people and from pulling demands on me, I go out in nature and I don't feel that.
Yeah, it shows.
Yeah.
And I don't feel EMF, and I don't feel 5G, and I don't feel any of that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So nature will reset you to your nature.
Yeah.
That's why I love going out in nature.
That's the best.
So who brought a book?
Sure.
Crystal will have to do a whole nother interview and conversation on diet and liberation from food slavery. Because that's what everybody's working on right now. Food is the biggest addiction on the planet.
Oh, totally.
For sure.
Plus the victim mentality, victim consciousness, that's got to leave our belief system. There's too much of that on the planet right now. Okay, who got a book? Or PDF? What you got?
PDF.
PDF works. We're going to start on page 140, which is chapter 8. And Catherine, you want to read?
Well, I don't have the PDF or the book. I would read. I'd be happy to read.
All right, so your book will arrive any day now.
All right.
All right, here we go. Offering suggestions without prescribing or diagnosing. You got to understand, we're either walking a really thin line here, or we're really clear what side of the line we're on. We're not doctors. We're not medical personnel. We didn't go through their schooling. We haven't been programmed and brainwashed by their thinking. And so you got to make sure you're not representing yourself like you're a doctor. And you can't diagnose and you can't prescribe. So you guys know all that stuff. That's a disclaimer that some people in this work will tell people when they start asking questions that are on the edge. It could go one way or the other. So just be really clear in how you describe this to people. You and a client can only succeed when you are of service, when you guide, mentor, and are not a personality, ego, or identity who is seeking praise or has an attachment to the outcome. Urine therapy teachers never make promises of healing with a client. Did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Will it heal this? Will it heal that? Will it heal that? Your best answer is, I don't know, but when I drink my urine, I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can use a third-party testimonial. When Michelle started putting urine therapy all over her face and she used urine, her skin and her complexion cleared up. Now she's radiant and beautiful. That's you, Michelle. So just, be careful how you explain this to people. One of the most interesting pieces of information on urine that I came across was the fact that the amniotic fluid that surrounds human infants in the womb is primarily urine. The infant breathes in urine-filled amniotic fluid continually. Without this fluid, the lungs don't develop. Doctors believe that the softness of a baby's skin and the ability of in utero infants to heal quickly without scarring after pre-birth surgery is due to the therapeutic properties of urine-filled amniotic fluid. UT works for some and not for everyone. I don't know if that question ever comes up to your mind, but here's why. Healing is more complex, and this will also explain the fruitarian thing that some of you are struggling with. Healing is more complex than just drinking urine. Improving the diet, fasting, cleansing, right thinking, attitude, healthy emotions, and spiritual or self-love practices will boost the Shivambu benefits. Understand? People who are miserable inside or self-destructive have much more work to do than do grateful, joyous people. Motivated people do really well with urine therapy. As you will discover when we get VJ out of the hospital today, we're taking him to a rehab so that we can be more hands-on and do more urine therapy with him before he comes back to the house.
That's awesome.
That is awesome, and I think that's the one thing that's been baffling the doctors, because the doctors are just so wanting to get the money or the corpse. I don't know what their real intentions are, but they weren't seem too happy when he keeps getting healthier.
Oh gosh.
It's amazing. I mean, he can hold a lucid conversation. He can talk intellectual with the doctors when he wants to. Other times he's in his body, he's in his process, and he just doesn't feel like talking. And they go, well, maybe he has dementia. No, maybe he doesn't want to talk to you. A well-trained or intuitively sensitive UT therapist will make inquiries into all areas of a client's life and design a well-rounded program that accelerates, deepens, and brings results. Detailed questioning is more thorough than just advising clients to do urine therapy protocols and wish them well. Taking the time to do follow-ups brings confidence and reassurance to the client as you're working on it as a team to change, save, and improve a life. Studying and knowing the basics of nutritional profile of urine builds a skill in making inquiries, addressing concerns, and offering UT protocol suggestions. And there is Megan. Well, welcome back, Miss Megan McDonald. Hi, Megan. You got a book nearby? We're on page 142. And I'll continue reading. We're at the part of the third paragraph that says, for example. Thank you. And all that we discussed prior to you arriving here will be recorded and sent to you. We talked about the struggles that some people have about being a fruitarian or giving up all their food slavery. We're moving in that direction indeed. For example, working with clients who are stressed, exhausted, or have low energy, you may wish to remind them that urine contains nutrients like melatonin, serotonin, magnesium, DHEA, dopamine, L-theanine, phenylalanine, niacin, tryptophan, oxytocin, and B complex, well known to support adrenals, nervous system, and brain. Knowing this about urine, of course, is optional and doesn't affect the outcome or benefits of AUT for a client. It just adds more credibility and respect from clients who value this information. And a lot of them are have studied nutrition for years. So it's a great way for them to deepen their appreciation for this water, and it gives them an idea how to even create their own protocols. If you feel that in addition to their health condition, they're anxious with concerns about their life, your sensitivity, intuition, and compassion will guide and assist you in helping clients during a session. Page 143, Shivambu is love. In this manual, there are articles about UT educators, researchers, and teachers on Shivambu self-healing practices. These are written to help you design, quote, perfect treatment suggestions. In the popular Shivambu Hut social media network, you can read UT articles and watch related videos, as well as contribute content being enjoyed by the members of this growing water family at the Hut. There's currently 553 members. That means anything to you guys. To get a free membership, visit Shivambu Hut entrance portal at shivambu.org, and you'll see it there. To avoid making claims and keep yourself from any legal matters, always remember you are not a licensed medical professional who can diagnose and prescribe suggestions or medications. What I said, Megan, is one of the best answers you can give to people when they say, is it good for this condition and that condition? Is it good for multiple sclerosis and diabetes and COVID and blah, blah, blah? The best answer to get you off the hook, and it's real simple. I don't know about that. All I know is that when I drink my Shivambu, I feel better. Or offer them a third-party testimonial.
Yeah, I had one of those today.
You did? And how did you respond?
It was about eyes and whether someone who'd had surgery and glaucoma issues and etc. could use it on their eyes. Mm-hmm. It was the same thing. He said, I don't have any experience with that. There are lots of testimonials of people who say it's done amazing things for their eyes, but even just from drinking it, not even from necessarily putting it in the eyes, but just drinking it in the eyes have gotten better. But that's other people telling me. And that they would have to decide with their own intuition what to do. But that if I was to give them advice, I'd say go slow. Don't rush.
Yeah. Because you've been eating the way you've been eating your whole life. And it's going to take time to clean house. Yeah. So study general suggestions, treatment suggestions, which are coming up in the next couple of pages. Stay on the safe side and only guide them along their Shivambu journey. Remind them that the body heals itself when given the proper nutrients, and those nutrients are absorbed. Did you get that part? Nutrients have to be absorbed. They have to be the right kind of nutrients. And when you have nano-sized particles in the water Shivambu, they're always going to get in the cells, and they're going to get into the bloodstream. Remind them the body heals itself. Okay, mention that their body's innate intelligence custom manufactures the perfect elixir for their special needs every time, their specific needs. This is the important thing to know. Chapter 9, page 144. General treatment suggestions. Now, we're calling them general treatment suggestions. We're not calling them prescriptions because we don't diagnose, and we're getting the wording just right to keep you guys from getting in any trouble. We're also, I guess, personally, we're protecting the whole water community. So be mindful of how you have this conversation with people. This list contains some of the most common labeled diseases, quote, dis-ease, which actually means lack of ease. You guys knew that. The UT protocol suggestions come from the classic book Golden Fountain, the complete book on urine therapy by Cohen van der Kroon, who's out in Holland. The beneficial effects of practicing urine therapy may vary according to a client's diet, lifestyle, state of mind, and way of being, as well as their commitment. Benefits will range from some relief to total healing, and in general, one must realize that healing is always dependent upon many cofactors. In the chapter of this manual, you will find the precise methods in detail. As was mentioned in the discussion in the Whole Body Mind Healing chapter, all 4 pillars of health must be in balance to achieve optimum health. No shortcuts, guys. I know everybody in America wants a shortcut. Or England or Australia or Puerto Rico, wherever you guys live. These areas include mental, emotional, physical, and self-love or spiritual. I oftentimes change the word spiritual if I'm talking to some folks who have a charge on those words. They go, oh, that new age bullshit. So I'll call it well-being practices, or self-nurturing, whatever. You guys will come up with the right terms every time. There are no strict guidelines or rules for UT. Starting from a general basic treatment, everyone must find the application of UT which is most appropriate for their needs and which other types of treatments should be combined with UT for the best results. Generally, in cases of chronic or serious diseases, it's useful to do an Urine fast with distilled water, foot soaks, navel soaks, Urine enemas, and have regular Urine massages, whether they're given by you or someone else. It really doesn't matter. But it's always nicer if someone else massages you because you're not using your energy and you're able to go deeper into relaxing. This is why I tell people, well, I massage myself. I hear therapists all the time. Well, I massage myself. Not the same.
Not.
Generally, in cases, I already read that part. I'll read it again. Generally, in cases of chronic or it's foot soaks or massages. This is referred to as an intensive treatment. In most cases, even when relatively healthy, this intense form of UT is highly cleansing and health-giving. Whenever massage is mentioned in these treatment suggestions, you get to decide whether to use evolving or fresh. Evolving Urine has more potency. The term massage generally means the gentle rubbing of Urine or dabbing, circulating it into the skin or applying it to affected areas. So on page 146, 147, all the way to 152, what I did was I put in here, there's a lot more in the other book, the Golden Fountain, but these are the ones that are most widely brought up in conversation. So that's why you'll see acne and AIDS and allergies and amoebas and apathy. Apathy, drinking the nose, foot soaks, massage. So you can just, when you get a chance, go through this list and you might remember there are people who are dealing with these issues who might have approached you, or at least study them so when it does come up in conversation, you'll have something to reference. Ultimately, your intuition will guide you. Drink it, snort it, enemas, foot soaks, body massage. Those are the general ones. Belly button soak, etc., etc. Eye rinses, ear rinses. Any questions so far? All right, page 153, chapter 10. Oh, number 11, chapter 11 is going to be fun. So we'll take a break at noon today, which is in about 25 minutes. Designing UT protocols and wellness practices for a client to bring radiant health. Making inquiries or probing into the lives of a client determines the direction of the session. This information compiled from the discussion helps in designing general treatment suggestions and a program that includes all aspects of well-being. Inquiry helps you understand a holistic approach or overview of their life, as well as building protocols, practices, and a program that brings the results they came to you to achieve. Just telling them to drink their water and try UT protocols and sending them away to figure it all out is not only a disservice to a client, but they will have a much harder journey when only approaching health from only the physical or the material world, the material form. Does that make sense, you guys? She's the silent sneezer. So keep that in mind. You want to get into their face. You want to get into their lifestyle, and that way you can help them to be able to do it themselves. Here's some sample example questions for new clients to contemplate and answer. What motivated you to start practicing UT? Was it a book, a person, an illness, or if you want to add the word curiosity? Who or what was your influence? What went through your mind when you were considering actually drinking your pee? You guys remember that defining moment? This is crazy, this is crazy, this is crazy. He's so convincing, he's very convincing. I'm going to try it. What went through your mind? Can you recall the defining moments? What mental obstacles, if any, did you have to overcome to take the first drink? Was it easy or difficult for you to do this? Did you have to overcome a gag reflex or feelings of disgust? What UT protocols are you currently practicing, and what do you use every day? And I keep pounding that into you guys, and I keep pounding into the water family. The term daily practice. because the practice doesn't become a practice until you practice it. And when you practice it for as many years as you could, you get the results every time. Have you tried a variety of UT protocols? What are your favorites and why? What did you study, or what are you studying to further your UT education? Would you say that you are passionate and outspoken about Shivambu? Are you serious about telling others about your UT discovery and personal success with UT? How has daily UT practices affected your life? Do you think that you will ever consider you might stop doing this practice? That's a no. I could see Crystal behind her icon saying no. All right. What are these called? An avatar? That was your avatar, Crystal. Can you explain the transition that people go through in order to get the most from practicing UT? For example, food choices, lifestyle, mental changes, or beliefs about oneself. What advice would you give to newbies about taking the most important first sip? A lot of the work that I do with my clients is praise and raise. Because a lot of people come to you, they're desperate. A lot of people are uncertain about their life, about the direction of their health, about everything. So whatever you can do to reassure them and inspire them that they're doing great, they're on the right path, this is their perfect medicine, and they can simply relax and trust the process. And so much easier if you can transfer that kind of feeling and that tone to them. And it's going to come second nature to you if it isn't already. Okay, we're on chapter 11, page 156. Clearing the mind of negative associations, beliefs, or ideas about UT, including suggestions, theories, and myths taught to you, especially by the medical industry. Learning a client's beliefs about Orin and if they ever consider drinking their pee gives you a clearer picture of which direction to take the conversation in initial consultation. Beatrice Barnett, in her book, The Miracles of Urine Therapy, offers a good approach to handling aversions to drinking Orin. Throughout the civilized world, blood and blood products are being used in the medical world without evoking the repugnant associated with Orin. We use packaged cells, blood plasma, white blood cells, and countless other blood components. Orin is nothing than a blood plasma product. All right, that was a client trying to get a massage. Babies are being breastfed, and we easily accept this along with the common practice of eating dairy products. Yet we can't imagine drinking Orin. Fresh Orin contains the same substances as those found in the blood. If you think about it, Orin is ultra-filtered blood plasma water. Have you got that part yet? You're drinking golden blood plasma water that some people in another paradigm call it urine. So we're operating on the same liquid, but two different frames of reference or context to hold that understanding of the water. So at times it feels like we're in another world. Don't they get this yet? Crystal got it. That was great. Pee is part of the blood just minutes before and flowed everywhere through your body, possibly through your tongue. Since Orin is not poisonous or disgusting while in the body, why do people consider it so repulsive as piss? Overcoming objections in a sensitive and compassionate manner is crucial to succeeding with UT session. Anyone who criticizes or challenges you about Orin therapy, whether someone in person or someone who calls you in on a radio show while you are being interviewed, I had a lot of these guys, known as a heckler or a troll, is someone who never did their research and is repeating what they have been taught about Orin. Which is why it's fun to talk to a doubting Thomas about their misunderstanding about urine therapy, because they didn't do the research and they got no strong argument. So when people come up to you and they say, well, urine is blah, 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 I say, well, where did you get that idea from? Most people just repeat stuff. They don't think it through. So get used to your responses, because you're going to get better and better at that. This way, you never take their words, energy, or emotions personally, and you can hold your ground while confidently responding to them. Page 158. Bring it on, baby. Some of the concerns or mental objections that have been overcome about drinking Orin has included the following. I always thought it was a waste product. Why would anyone want to drink their pee? They are secretly wondering if you are a trusted or a credible source. They seem to be waiting for guidance from the inner voice to decide about working with you. These are the pillars of health and well-being: mental, emotional, physical, and self-love. It is to your advantage, dear readers, to take this teaching to heart and design a personal daily program of practices for you first. After being a product of discipline, you will know how to assist your clients in finding their way. Number one, what will they, my parents, civils, children, or parents, think of me if I become a pee drinker? That ever enter your mind? What will people think of me if they find out? Who knows? You're not there. Remind the client that what they think about themselves matters most. What others think about you is none of your business. Your work will include acknowledging and giving them recognition, empowering them, and reminding them the truth about themselves. I'm going to feel embarrassed and think others are criticizing me. Once again, give client reassurance that they're okay just the way they are. Are you insane? Are you in a cult? It's another trust issue. Give them reassurance. Is it safe? Still another trust issue. Give reassurance. I have been drinking my pee for many years and I feel greater every day. 30 million people worldwide are alive and well because they drink their wee every day. Does that tell you anything? You're going to kickstart their critical mind. So whatever you can do to fill in that blank, whether it's this kind of information or some people are geared towards science and evidence and research, so they can finally get to their own conclusion that maybe what you're saying is the truth. Page 160. Is Orin really sterile or full of germs? Being made in the ultimate sterile environment without any contact from the outside body, your water is being made in ultra-sterile laboratory conditions. It's always designed exactly to meet your most current bodily needs, stored in a sterile container called the bladder, and then signals you by using pressure that your elixir is ready. Orin is absolutely sterile, and most of the Orin that your body produces goes back into the bloodstream anyway. Question, why does Orin smell sometimes? After a while, the uric acid in Orin changes to ammonia. And once this does, it starts to smell. However, the smell evaporates completely after the Orin is absorbed into the skin or any organic surface. Got any testimonials or research that might convince me? Yeah, there's thousands. What you'll do is, it'll take you, wait, where is this? What will it take you to trust my word and get started? Or as I said to Catherine earlier, when will now be a good time for you to act on this? Because a lot of people, they're right on the edge. They're right at that point. And you can really make an impact on them if you can help them to take that first baby step. Wow, was it hard for you to take that first drink? I was 40 at the time and I experimented with just about everything imaginable. Considering all the many methods of healing that I have tried as a way to become healthy, drinking my pee was not much of a leap. And that was my personal endorsement there. What really convinced me to go for that first sip and drink was the writings of Cohen Vanderkoon and Leonard Orr. By the way, Megan, the book is out. And I shipped 8 of them this morning. Very exciting.
Nice. Online orders or?
These are people who prepaid months ago across the United States, and one student is in Puerto Rico.
Nice.
Very exciting. Considering all the many methods, I already read that one. Well, since Shiva said Leonard to deliver the Shivambu message to me, of course I said yes. What has it done for you? It has healed the intestines, improved vision, hearing, sharpened, and cleaned and calmed this restless mind. Keeping the discipline of using of UT protocols every day for 28 years continues to bring me a clear, calm mind, balanced emotions, and boundless energy all day. I have always thought that it was a waste product. It was always what I heard about piss. Where did you get that idea from? I already told you guys this earlier. What made you think that that was true? Perhaps the medical system made it all up to hide the knowledge from us. Why would anybody want to drink his piss? Well, I've done explaining the truth about Orin and have answered all of your questions, and you will have to be convinced. Only when your motivation or why is strong enough to take action to get well will you hear and understand why millions are healthier and happier because they made the choice to begin and practice AUT every day. Trust me, you will be glad you did. Why should I trust you and take your word for it that it's safe and healthy for me to drink my pee? Do I appear sane and sincere that AUT is the real deal? Check in with yourself now and see how you feel about AUT and if you're ready to go for it. By planting this one idea in their mind, concerns start to wash away as they sense your certainty and sincerity about AUT's potential to help restore their health. What if we are right and urine really is perfect medicine and the medical system got it wrong? Okay, now you got my attention. How do I start? That's the turning point you're seeking. Did you feel that? Right there. And they ask that question. Okay, I'm in. What do I do first? And then you can baby step them, or if they're ready to go for a gulp, the big gulp. If not, you baby step them by tasting it, dropping in their mouth, and slowly getting to a point where they feel safe and comfortable enough where they do ounces and move toward looping and fasting and on it goes. Any questions? Excellent, excellent. We're going to skip all over this, past this, and go all the way until chapter 12. We got one more class after this. Let's go to page 173. I don't know. I built up such a thirst talking to you guys about this subject. All right, chapter 13, preparing for a UT session. How a teacher prepares for a UT session is just as important for the teacher as it is for the client. With the general understanding of Urine Therapy from studying the manual and other UT resources, personal experience in teaching AUT, you are already an AUT teacher. The work begins when you are present with the client, following your intuition, knowing and trusting that the session will be perfect in every way. And I want to drill that into your head. How many people are a little bit nervous and go, well, I don't know what to say, and what if I give them the wrong suggestion, and whatever your old doubts are. Our work is to breathe, get centered, and get present, and know that what you need to say is going to be given to you. That's part of trusting the process. You guys get nervous about having to explain this to people? I wouldn't think you would, Megan. What about Catherine? That's a yes from Crystal.
Yeah, I had to say it in the right way for them to hear it. Yeah, I have to really.
You'll never get it down as the right way. But when you say it to somebody, it's going to be right for them in that moment.
Yeah, that's true.
You see, the trouble we get into, and I was guilty of this growing up. I would find myself in all these self-help groups and all these self-help seminars, and there were times where you sit in the chairs in the circle, and they go around the circle, and everybody get a chance to share something, right? So what happens is we're planning what we're going to say as it goes from person to person to person, and by the time it gets to you, it comes out totally weird, totally different. So keep your mind blank, keep your heart open, and just trust.
Yeah, I don't actually get nervous with that. I get nervous with other things, but no. I think it's been easier because I've had such great feedback. So I think for me, it's more like you're saying, I just keep my heart open and trust that whatever's coming through is exactly what's needed for them. And I don't have any expectation at all. And so if they want more information, then I'm just like, oh, wow, I'm so grateful that they want it. But if they don't, I know that they're going to continue on their journey, and I'm grateful for that too. And maybe they'll come upon it, and maybe they'll reach out later. Like, yeah, I think it's been a little more challenging when the people in my life who are usually so open to my recommendations, and they won't even try it. And I'm like noticing my tendency of wanting to maybe control or like not feel as close to them because they won't try this when it means this much to me. And so that's been really good for me to like do more internal work on that and not try to be like push more information and like, oh no, like how could you not want to do this? And yeah, so it's been really good for me because that's where the work is needed. and for me, it's my little bit control issues with that.
Well, and I told you that the autistic young man I'm working with, the parents okayed that I could try the urine therapy with him. But now that, you know, when I asked her if she's gotten any urine, she hasn't. So I asked her if I could, you know, I could try to get it myself by just giving him a jar. So I tried that yesterday. I said, okay, I said that. And I tried to explain to him, you know, and I don't know if he's listening or not. But I'm like, your mom said it was okay if I try this new therapy with you called urine therapy. So I need you to pee in this jar. And he's going like this. He's pointing to the jar. I'm like, yes, you're going to pee in the jar. And so I give it to him and I send him into the bathroom. I said, okay, go into the bathroom, pee in the jar. And he got real upset, and his energy went really high, and he started doing this whistling, you know, thing that he does. And
Nice.
so I couldn't get it. And so now I'm going, okay, what is my next step? You know, because I don't want to push the parents, you know, but then I thought, well, maybe I can ask them if I could try my own urine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that would disgust them or what, but I have some really great aged urine that might, you know, that might really be good for that. So that's my point, is I don't want to pressure people, but at the same time, I want to, you know, I want them to try it so that they know for themselves.
We all do.
Yeah, we all do. Yeah.
And
but this has already been, you know, she's already okayed it. It's just, it's not going anywhere.
well, some people find the suggestions hard to swallow, pun intended.
Yeah.
So, Crystal, it's okay if people give you what you want, and if they don't give you what you want, you don't take it personally. That in itself is a self-improvement course right there, is to be able to know what you want, ask for what you want, and receive it the way you asked it, and how to be okay if it doesn't play out that way.
Yeah, it's just the people that I'm most connected to, that I'm the closest to, that I'm just like, please, like, it's like, it's just hard. It's a little hard when it's like your best friend and you're like, what? But you will always buy any supplement I've ever recommended, or you'll always, you know, and then I'm just like, oh wait, they're not ready. They're not ready. And so I have to trust that they know their journey, and I don't know what's best for anyone. Everyone knows what's best for them. They know. And so, but you know, that's just my little ego kicking in. Yeah. So.
Yes. And a good affirmation or mantra for you is, up until now, it was difficult.
Okay.
I'm open to the possibility of it being easy and effortless for me to get the, whatever it is, the responses that you're wanting with people. Or to get
no, I'm getting amazing responses. Just two people who are literally my best friends. I'm like, but it's good for me. I know it's happening for me. That is why, because I'm learning this. So it's just hilarious. Actually, it cracks me up.
Yes.
So,
and you'll discover that these people are watching you under a magnifying glass. They're using you as a barometer to if this stuff works.
Yeah. I'm excited to share it with like everyone I know, because I'm getting married in 1 year. Like, we picked our date for next March, and we're just gonna be drinking it our wedding's gonna be over like 5 days, and me and my fiance are just gonna be having our mason jars the whole week. So I'm just super pumped about that. Yeah.
Crystal, I would like to suggest that you empty out a champagne bottle.
Yeah.
Fill it with the primo stuff and get champagne glasses.
Yeah, we don't need mason jars for that. We need to get some fancy glassware. Good idea. Thank you.
And if you're really creative, you can put on your own label on the bottle.
Oh, yeah. Great idea. Thank you, Brother Sage.
You're worth it.
Yeah.
Any other comments? We're going to do a 5-minute break here. All right, guys. hour. Let's do.
This meeting is being recorded.
Really, you have to say that? Okay. All right, we're going to do that, and then looking into a session. And we might skip that. Shubhamba's intuitive medicine. Okay, let's just keep reading. Chapter 13, page 173. How a teacher prepares for a UT session is just as important as a teacher is for the client. When the general understanding of Urine Therapy from studying this manual and other research, I already read that. In this chapter, we explore the use of breath, meditation, centering, and trusting one's inner knowing or guidance before page 174, starting a session with the client. Being calm, centered, and present gives you deeper insight into a client's emotions and arises from unconscious beliefs, programming, and mental patterns that are at the core of their health problems. All names and labels of what the medical system calls disease or illness is based on a diagnosis or theory, which comes from their medical education and is merely a suggestion. Did you hear that? Don Miguel Ruiz wrote the book, The Four Agreements. Anybody read that?
Mm-hmm.
And in the book, he says, when doctors prescribe something to a client, he says it's a form of black magic because you're creating a hypnotic suggestion for people to accept and to not think it through. So he calls it black magic. That's what he calls a medical profession. And there I just went into it. Merely a suggestion. According to the Four Agreements, he says it's black magic or hypnotic suggestion. Being present with clients causes insights and guidance to go much deeper, be more accurate, and bring more benefits. We are not only facilitating the session, we're guiding the client and using their mind to change beliefs about themselves and their life. So can you see why this work is liberating and transformational for you and your clients? You're not only healing and releasing all the unhealthy food choices and addictive choices you made your whole life, you're also purging all the belief systems that have gotten you in the mess. So pretty much on any level in your work, you're going to see things start cleaning up. We're bringing hope, courage, strength, motivation to every client. Mastering the daily practice of AUT teaches you how to teach others how to master the discipline needed to heal and accomplish anything. Using your own breath and meditation practices or rituals before or during a session sets the stage or energy for you to get the most out of every session. It's a good idea to set aside time to lay or sit down and practice doing a minimum of 30 conscious connected breath cycles every day. And that's just the suggested minimum. Spend at least 20 to 30 minutes meditating, taking a walk quietly in nature, and being still and silent in mind, energy, and body. Breathe. Let go of all that matter that doesn't really matter. I just love that expression. Let go of the crap. You know what that is. It's very important in counseling or coaching clients to teach them that these yogic practices, this supports them through all their adjustment period they will be facing along with their UT journey. Teaching others to practice daily conscious connected breathing creates calm and joyous humans who are spreading conscious breath work to countless numbers of people during their life journey. Other centering practices include Tai Chi, Qigong, chanting, meditation, laughing, dancing, doing art projects like sculpting and painting or drawing pictures. Every student may get inspired to either share Urine Therapy with others or become a UT teacher in some day. Always look at the big picture of UT for all humanity and how every person is affecting evolution for future generations. Any questions? Guys, you guys making this day easy for me. I love it. Let's go in and look at a session really quick here. Remember, the clients are seeking you for guidance, counsel, and to be on their healing team. That is all that we really need to know. Invite a client to breathe, shuffle their bare feet, get on the floor or carpet, and clear the mind of chatter so that they are present and with you and ready to get started. It's also a suggestion that any time of the day you feel like you're disconnected to your body and you're not really present, ask yourself, where are your feet right now? Catherine, where are your feet right now?
They're on my bed.
They're on your bed. So it draws your attention to your body. It draws your attention to your feet. So any time of day where you feel like things aren't flowing, you feel disconnected, ask yourself that question and see what you get. Returning a client's mind to balance moves their thoughts away from conflict, hopelessness, and fear to a mind open to the possibility of being healthy, happy, and free. At this point, you can begin inquiries or just listen. Many bring their anxieties and concerns about their illness or condition to the sessions of conversation, so keep reminding them to breathe. You're building a relationship with every client. Your role is multifaceted, and you can appear to play many roles for them, as you may move through a session discovering as much as you can about their diet, lifestyle, self-care, and mindset. You're listening for clues to reveal the true cause of their illness. According to the Course in Miracles, you are never upset for the reason you think. And it was obvious, more than obvious to me, when we took BJ to the intensive care, and every time we took him back to the hospital, they kept saying, oh, it's this and this and this and this, and they got it wrong every time. They thought he had an enlarged prostate, and we found out that his bladder was swollen. It was pressing on the prostate area, causing him to barely pee. And so 90% of their guesswork is off.
Wow.
It was interesting, and he gets discharged today. Yay. You get to know them as well as they know themselves by focusing on their words, thinking, and energy. Find out why they chose UT as their method for self-healing. Since they chose you to coach them for their healing, that's an indication they trust you. It is this trust of you that will keep their mind open to your questioning, guidance, and suggestions. Breathe. Remind them often to take deep breaths. Great. Let's get started. During the inquiry stage of the consultation, the questions you will ask are in no particular order. For example, what are your health concerns? What do you normally eat? What size are your proportions? How many meals a day? How often? How late? Do you chew thoroughly, like 20, 30 times? How early do you eat? What did you eat today? What do you do to relax? What time do you go to sleep at night? What do you do to get up in the morning? When do you get up in the morning? What do you do to quiet your mind? What if any are or some of your spiritual practices like meditation, chanting, yoga, silence? Do you practice intermittent or regular fasting? Enemas. As you are gathering information, you also are listening to their choices of words, descriptions, and emotions that they express behind their words. Oftentimes, what people aren't saying are just as important as what they're saying. So get used to dialing in with your intuition of what you're hearing that they're not hearing themselves. You get better every time when you guide or facilitate a session at reading a client and getting insights that are beyond your education or intelligence. Your intuition will show you what they have been believing about themselves, their body, and their relationships. You can choose to help them process and clear their negative and limiting beliefs, or lovingly and sensitively listen deeply and offer treatment suggestions, dietary and lifestyle choices, and teach them how to enjoy a life worth living. Giving them positive affirmations will help them to raise the quality of their thoughts about themselves and their life. Never underestimate the power of affirmations that could bring about shifts of perception that could be heard, felt, and integrated at any time during the session. Ask the client if they are open to a quantum healing or to the possibility of healing everything in one or more sessions. So this is something I've been practicing for many years. When I would meet a client, within the first couple sentences, I would say, "Are you open to healing this? Are you open to healing everything? Are you open to a quantum healing? Are you open to a shift that will turn this all around in one conversation?" Because this is how the masters, this is how Yeshua did it. Some people knew him as Jesus. And what he simply did was saw the client as in their wholeness, in their mastery, and facilitated their shift in their own perception to see it themselves. But a lot of people call that a miracle. So we're doing the same thing with urine therapy in your own way. Helping people find their way back. Because our attention and our spiritual wisdom and knowledge has been distracted and has been hooked away from our ability to tap into it. This is why I'm excited about living on planet Earth in 2022, because there's more possibilities of people waking up and coming home than ever before. And unfortunately, it took a major world insane pandemic crap for 2 years for people to start questioning everything. Any questions? Any comments? Wow, let's go play.
Sorry, I think so I keep getting unmuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna come back to, okay, I've got my little hump, which is because my experience was so intense in the beginning, like I've said before, and then, you know, with obviously Armstrong's book, it's very similar, you know. The people that came to him were often very sick people who he put on a very intense fast, you know.
Right.
So I guess, you know, I haven't got any, you know, I'm really happy with talking to people about it. I'm, you know, I've got friends that are doing it, and, you know, you know, and I'm sharing bits as I go along, and I've got a few more people that are, you know, speaking to me in a way that's like, oh, what should I do now? And I guess I haven't got the issues around that. It is when someone's very sick and really they need to do something, you know, they need to do a fast. And like I said before, like in China or India, you are sent to a hospital, a urine hospital, and I had my daughter and my husband looking after me, and it was really intense experience. So I guess that's my, you know, my, this feels quite a big thing, you know, to in any way support someone through that, you know, without because it's just like it couldn't be more intense and more radical if you tried, you know, people drinking their urine, not eating, and just being laid up for, you know, 30 days or whatever, you know. So
sounds crazy.
Yeah. So I guess that's, you know, is, you know, for me it's like, you know, if someone is quite ill, then I would think that they would need to do something quite extreme, like a full-on fast, you know. So to get to that point, I would imagine that, you know, people need to do that quite swiftly, you know. So I guess what I need to put out there is that I attract what I need
at all times.
To get my confidence to before I start doing anything like that, you know. And anybody who's very sick, then I would maybe send them. I wouldn't support them personally until I felt ready, but I would guide them to maybe others or the information that they need, you know, whilst I'm getting stronger in my in the way of sharing the information and having the experience of looking after someone when they're really sick, you know. So.
Well, thank you, Michelle. We've all had the experience of people who are desperate. They come into our lives, and for some reason, we're wired to. When we're at survival level, and we're in a crisis situation, to finally do something about it. It's right in your face. You can't avoid it anymore. So people coming to you and their mind is as open to suggestions as ever. Does that make sense?
Sure. It's just like, wow, but you're really holding someone's life, like in a, I mean, you're not, I mean, they are, you know. So I guess it's like really handing it back fully to them, their choice, if they want to do this for themselves, you know.
You're
it's
empowering
just,
them. You're empowering them, and most of these people have been disempowered by society. They've been disempowered by their religions. They've been disempowered by the medical profession. You can name any institution. They've been disempowered. And so you're handing it back to them, and they have to realize it.
and I guess for me, it's like knowing that if they actually do it, they are actually highly likely to get better, you know.
They will, and there's a much better chance that they'll get the results if you can be on their team for a while they're doing their process and their work. I mean, if you have to stay with them for a week, 2 weeks, a month, until they feel strong enough to stand on their own and do the work, then that's what our work is.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just sort of like, I'm sort of answering my own questions, really. Just hearing it out, you know, because obviously it's like a worse sort of fear, you know, like
that's all it is. Yeah. What's your biggest fear about? What's the worst thing that could happen if you presented this to people?
The worst thing would be that they sort of do it and they were, you know, on the edge of dying and they didn't really do it, but they told their family and friends that they were doing it and then they die.
Okay, so would you say the worst case scenario is that you would be a failure?
That I would feel responsible for their death, and also that other people would make me responsible for their death for suggesting something ridiculous.
Yes, and do you hold yourself responsible for their choices and where their life goes, or can you see it from a broader perspective?
I mean, it's really interesting. I'm in this situation. I'm having this moment right now because I just suddenly remembered that years ago I had some kind of reading saying that, like, in another life, people died. I was a healer or something, and people died, but it wasn't my fault, but I took it on. So I guess, this God having one of those moments where it's like, right, okay, so I'm facing my worst fear. Yeah, this is what staying away from responsibility of helping others in that sort of situation.
And you are being fully responsible by offering it and teaching it and planting an idea in their head. You're not responsible for their choices, and we're not the great cosmic board, the cosmic karmic board. We don't know people's destiny, life stream, or how it's supposed to play out, but we get to enjoy these souls for as long as we can. And sometimes it's family members and people we love dearly. And it's the hardest. Go ahead, Megan.
Something you just said too, where you connected to your own knowing about your own soul and its journey. And if in a previous life you were ostracized or blamed for something, then part of the opportunity in this life could be that you get to speak your truth and not be killed and not be ostracized, and see that that's not always the story.
Yeah, because I do create that sort of humiliation, betrayal, speaking up and then being slammed, scapegoated, you know, it's a recurring thing, you know? So speaking up and being scapegoated.
Michelle, that was up until now.
Up until now, I have had the experience of speaking up and then being scapegoated, but I have the opportunity to change that story and
speak your truth, and that's all you need to do. You don't have to defend it.
Yeah. Oh, I can feel the
yeah, breathe it in. So this is the joyful part of this work. Some of the stuff that feels like it's just going to rip your heart out brings the most incredible joy through the tears and through the purge. And welcome to my world. I'm doing this almost every day, and keep a box of Kleenex around.
Yeah, I can just really feel the fear. Underneath the, you know, the excitement and the part that wants to share it, obviously, but that's the bottom line.
Megan?
And they're also, you just said it again, like that excitement and fear are often two sides of the same coin. And that sense of excitement bubbling up will help surface any fear that is also latent, that is still sitting in the system. But sometimes we get so trained that any bit of excitement sends us to fear that we also fear excitement without knowing it.
Yeah, I do now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here I am getting too excited. It's only going to end in.
Right. Yeah. So you're very aware of it. You see it within yourself.
Yeah, it just feels like really is the end of this now. I've been round the block.
Right. Yeah, when the soul is tired enough of the old story, then the soul will surrender it. But we got to be really tired of it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's beautiful. So, yeah, that you're letting it flow, not holding it. Yeah.
And you're helping heal everyone on the screen. We're connected, sweetie. If you feel it, we feel it.
Universe is. Thank you.
Yeah, what an honorable universe. The word fear used to mean, well, I've heard it. Wayne Dyer used to say the word fear means false evidence appearing real. In an old paradigm, fear used to be translated as forget everything and run. And now I understand fear means face everything and rise.
Yes, I love that.
Because when you stand in your truth and you walk right through fear, you'll find out it wasn't real. But we made it appear real and we scared the daylights out of us. So hopefully you can catch it before it does that.
Yes.
Life takes on a whole nother quality when you're fearless. Take a breath. God, I love this work.
Yeah. It really is amazing. It enables bringing everything in that that I'm passionate about, all these years, taking it to the real edge. No food, drinking urine, it's about us, and then helping other people to really, really feel their own empowerment, that they are source, they are a miracle. It's mind-blowing. There couldn't be anything more. I'm sure there are, but I mean, this is just so empowering.
It actually sounds like a gift when you say mind-blowing, because I know our minds could use some exploding so we can get a clean, fresh mind to operate with. We got so much crap in there.
So much crap.
So keep snorting. It's kind of like a nose enema, right? Just keep bringing up your nose. All right, we got 30 minutes. Do you want to go into the book or do you want to keep having an open discussion? Crystal, you want to weigh in? I'm gonna give you guys an option right now. We can keep an open discussion going for the next 30 minutes. We can read from the book, or you guys can cut out early and go play. That's the kind of teacher I would have been in high school.
I vote book.
Okay, anyone else? We're going to keep going with book.
Sure.
Cool.
I had a teacher when I was in junior high school, and he loved to teach his classes outside. So we'd go out in the stadium, sit in the stadium seats, and we would learn American history without being in the enclosed classroom. It was wonderful. Page 196 is about the role of the client. Or if you're using a PDF, it's chapter 15. A teacher leads the interaction. As an expert, they give information or recommend a course of action. The teacher helps the client to achieve a skill or avoid a particular action, like unhealthy choices. Instead of eating mucus-forming foods, acidic, inflammatory, or human-made foods, you'll suggest they eat living foods, fast, take enemas, or practice meditation. A counselor encourages a client to do most of the talking while the counselor listens, often taking notes during the consultation. These notes give clues, insights, and an understanding of the depth of a client's cause of their health condition. The counselor facilitates the sessions. They do not make a decision for the client. And most certainly, the counselor does not give advice, but rather makes general suggestions. Sometimes the client changes their mind on the course of action, and the counselor's responsibility is to support and assist them through this process. The roles are very different between teaching and counseling. A teacher's main job is to talk and instruct, while a client listens. A counselor's main job is to listen, guide, and empower the client. In short, the difference between teaching and counseling are the words direction or facilitation. Teaching focuses on directing an action. Counseling focuses on facilitating decisions or next actions. While coming to the closure or completion of every session, be sure to allow time for the client to express or communicate anything, especially if they are unclear about what was discussed or what to expect. Ask the client if they wish to schedule another session and go deeper into the healing work with you. This leads to the follow-up. When you are both certain about doing more sessions, then reschedule them in the next 5 to 7 days. Every session is different and reveals something to the client that they may have missed in the previous sessions. Be sure to ask for referrals. Any questions? How many of you are thinking about becoming teachers? That's
Well,
one.
I am, but I feel like I need to clear up my own self first.
And why is that?
Well, because I'm not eating optimal how I want to be eating, or how I would suggest others. I need to do what I'm going to be suggesting, right?
Well, in a perfect world, yes. However, there are people that are a lot worse off than you, that may be reaching out to you because they're needing some help and some healing. And so
that's true.
I would always suggest the best place to start is where you are and learn with the student.
Well, I am part of
the same.
I am part of a 12-step program, so I do see people like that they're a lot worse off than me. So so you're right. Yeah.
And you have enough personal experience under your belt to tap into.
It's true. I do.
It's like so many things we put off because we want everything to line up perfectly in our life, and that may never come. So you take the leap of faith and know that you'll know what you need on the journey and just start from there.
Well, I think there's a confidence and self-esteem issue too, that, I might need to go into that and look at that a little more.
Put that in your up to now category.
Up until now, my confidence was not optimal.
Okay, and now what are you open to the possibility of?
I'm open to the possibility of being confident in my ability to talk about Shabambu with people. Yeah.
Right. If you come from the point that people want to know that you care more than you know stuff, half your work's done.
Yeah. And I do. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I was a master salesman for many decades. And one of the things you learn in sales, and it applies to this as well, because it is a form of sales, whether you want to acknowledge that or not, is that you have to be sold on yourself or nobody will buy you.
That's what I'm talking about.
If you sell yourself short, it won't work. So the certainty is that urine therapy works for you and that you trust that process, and then you transfer it to people. Don't think about it case by case. Well, this person is more intense than the last person, and this is over my head. I went through that for years. Well, do I have enough knowledge and wisdom and expertise to be able to help this person? If this was your brother and sister and they're in a desperate situation, that would never enter your mind. So that's keeping keeping in perspective. Does that make it any easier, or does that make it harder?
Yeah, and when you said brother or sister, and I do have a sister that's going through pancreatic cancer right now, and so I can practice on her. She'd be a great one to practice with.
And what if you were that one messenger who brought the right gift to save her life? You would never know. You would never know if you held it back.
Wow, that's a big one.
And you can do a matter-of-fact conversation. Hey, have you ever thought of using urine therapy?
Well, I've already discussed it with her. Yeah, I gave her the book, Your Own Perfect Medicine. So she's got the book, and we're gonna try it when she's done with her chemo, she said.
Okay, she could start now, but I understand where people are.
Yeah, she could start it now. You're right.
People who are on those.
Maybe I'll mention that.
Yeah, but let her know that it's going to build her body strong enough so that when the chemo is done, she'll have somewhat of a foundation to build on top of versus a weak structure, a weak immune system.
Yes, that's a great idea. And it'll help her deal with chemo too, right?
Same thing,
because chemo is so toxic, and I would.
Plus the trauma the body has to endure, plus the pain and the psychological effects of being inside this chamber or being bombarded with radiation or whatever chemo does.
Oh yeah, right. And then what you were saying about the doctors, giving giving her a time frame. This is what you usually don't live to be past a year or two once you're diagnosed. That's so damaging, just that right there. And that's what I would like her to realize don't even consider any of that. But it's already done. She's already been indoctrinated, so to speak.
Yes. And you're going to have a soul-to-soul conversation with this person to realize that she is more powerful than what it appears. Because right now, for example, VJ is being released from the hospital. I'm going to be going there just in a little bit.
Yes.
And I was told last night that they may move him from the hospital to a rehab center in a nearby town. And you're going to love this one. Take a breath. And in order for him to get the approval, he has to agree to being vaxxed and take booster shots. And I felt the same way, Megan. He's going to go from the frying pan to the fire, and they're going to kill him for sure. However, I was reassured that he might get a placebo type of vaccination, and his body and the vibe of everybody putting urine therapy all around him might override it.
How would he get a placebo?
When they're passing out millions of these, there's some stories that are going around that some of these
I've heard.
saline. Some are saline. Not everything.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but how do you know,
You don't know. You can't come up to the doctor and say, show me the ingredients of the vaccine.
So you just trust that he's going to get a placebo.
I'm hoping and praying that that's what happens. Or his soul is more powerful. His energy is more powerful.
I agree. Okay.
What would have been so amazing working with Dr. Gupta, you guys know him as VJ, is that just his presence and his spiritual essence has drawn amazing naturopaths and doctors. Doc Mike is with him right now in the hospital. Dr.
Wow.
Group called and spoke with Doc Mike and spoke with Indira. Dr. Group is sending some of his supplements. He was ready to fly over here.
Wow.
But Doc Mike was already here. I mean, the wealth of resources that are happening to this man who's laying there trying to figure out what the hell am I doing in a hospital bed is all coming together around him.
So he can't get out unless he promises to be back.
Well, he's already approved to be discharged, and where he goes is up to Indira. He's got the medical power of attorney. And what Doc Mike does, he's a medical, what does he call himself? He helps people out in situations like this because he's trained, but he heals people use natural methods. Urine therapy. We brought some MMS for him to start using, and just all kinds of natural remedies to get him out of there. And it was actually Doc Mike who's been doing his healing modalities behind the closed doors in the hospital room, and so I can't wait to get there today to see what's taking place.
Wow.
So there are things that beyond our understanding that are taking place on the soul level and the spiritual levels.
Oh yeah.
Breathe. We have this pause moment. I'm going, well, okay, all right, let's breathe.
I'm like that. My worst nightmare.
Wonderful, wonderful. We got about 18 minutes. What would you like to do? I know you guys are ready to take this to the world. Megan, are you just unmuting because, you get breath, you wanted to unmute, or is there something you want to contribute?
I guess I was just thinking about the fact that if you really need to be talking or interacting with people, it starts to happen. People come find you.
Yeah.
The situation starts to unfold that you did not imagine, and it just starts to happen. And you can say no, but if you say yes, it will be obvious that it just keeps happening.
Yes, and you might have already said yes prior to coming to this body.
Yeah, but then you still would get a choice in the moment if you were like, okay, this is more than I thought it would be. But just to that point of like, we do have the choice to say, no, I don't ever want to work with people one-on-one. I'm not going to do it. But if you find it exciting and interesting and people start showing up and then they want to talk to you, the next thing you know, you have a website. It's very strange.
Yes. Yes. And you have clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can look at that experience and decide if you're going to say yes or you're going to say no. And if you say yes, that comes with the knowing that everything you need and your resources and your tools and even the words are going to be there for you. And if you still think that you're in control of all this, forget it.
You're in control.
I have a bumper sticker on my car that says, relax, nothing's under control. And the other day I went to a health food store and some woman is taking a picture of my bumper, and I'm going, hi, what's up? She says, oh, I love that bumper sticker. I needed to take a picture of it. So practice what you've learned in the first 5 classes. Bring whatever questions you may still have to the last class on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, the 8th.
Okay.
I'll have my assistant create some certificates for you guys. And you can frame them. You can put them on the wall with your other diplomas. and people can walk in and go, "Oh my God, she's a urine therapist. I got to study with her." I'm still looking for people who will take the urine therapy books and put it on their coffee table in their living room.
Mm-hmm.
Or stick it on the tank of the toilet so people have something to read while they're in the bathroom.
Well, we need that little small one you're making.
We do. And Melissa, do you know who Melissa is yet?
No.
She's my secretary out in California. She goes by the handle Melissa Raw Organic Girl on Instagram. She's all of 32, I think 31 or 32, and she just loving doing this work. I mean, she realizes that this is a major movement going on, and she's tapped. I mean, every time she talks to me, she's going, "My God, we're doing that now. We're writing what now?" I just showed her the new book that came out, and she's getting more serious about working with me, and we're going to figure out how to get her on a payroll situation. And I think everybody should get an assistant. They're lovely to have. Megan.
I need an assistant. Yeah, I'm working on it.
You can get them in the Philippines. You can get them in India. You can get them in even this country. Some of the guys, they call themselves IT guys out in India. They're used to getting $5 to $7, $8 an hour. And that's in US dollars, not in rupees.
Yeah.
And the guy that was working with me, I would just give him $100 and go, "Good job." I wasn't even thinking about the hourly wage. I just wanted to encourage him to keep working. So, you can come to terms with your assistant.
Yeah.
People will need work. They're out there.
And they just keep popping up. Yesterday, another discussion with somebody who knew nothing about it. And just as soon as she had such an open mind, as soon as she heard about it, she knew what she wanted. Like what, everyone has something, but it popped into her head what would work, what she would want to see if it would help right away.
Yeah.
Right. And she just kept saying, "My mind is blown. My mind is blown." You just like, so, and again, someone who's like probably early 30s. And just immediately, bing, there goes the light bulb.
Mm-hmm. Well, the folks that are lining up around me are in their late 20s, early 30s. And it wasn't anywhere on our radar when we were that age. And these guys just like immediately go, "I get it. I get it. Why didn't anybody tell me this? I'm ready to jump on."
Yeah. I found kids too, like friends of mine who have kids who are like 7, 8, 9, 10. You tell them and they go, "That's funny. Why do people not like it then?" Like,
yeah. That I would love to get in that conversation.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
You present the information to a kid and then you say, "What do you think? Does that sound dangerous?" And they're like, "No." So it's just one of my friends, his 5-year-old at the time, his 5-year-old had a little bit of eczema. And he said, "What would you recommend?" And I said, "Well, does he take baths?" And I said, "You could let him pee in the bath." And so he turned to his 5-year-old who was sitting right there and said, "How do you feel about peeing in the bath?" He said, "I do it already, Daddy. I just don't tell you."
Oh, that's a great family.
Yeah. So the wisdom is there. Often it's, if we're afraid to say something, then we're doing a disservice to the other person who might have a really open mind. But also some of the people who've rejected it outright are some of my closest friends too. So, but then it's attachment, right? I just have to be like, "Okay, I'm not attached. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter."
Yeah. Brilliant. It's beautiful. Yeah. And I'm hearing more and more families that are telling me their 6-year-old, their 9-year-old, their 10-year-old, they're all practicing. Of course, I don't know if they tell their schoolmates, but at least at the house, it's totally natural.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine it would be really good for people, trying to come off of drugs or alcohol, to help them transition through that. And I do know people like that from, being in the 12-step program. So that's my thought was like, wow, I could introduce it to them to help them with their recovery.
Yeah, and I would love to be able to get to a point where we can just ship a case of them to AA groups.
Case of what?
Yeah, of the book, of the new
Oh, case of
booklet.
books. Oh, yeah,
The new
yeah, yeah.
booklet.
Okay, you meant a case of the urine. Case of shabambu.
Well, I would
I
do
thought
that
you
too.
meant urine too.
Yeah, here's the book.
And I was all about it.
That would be a whole new world right there.
It may be.
It may be. I think we've already entered into the golden age. People are just getting caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I never thought of that. It's called the golden age. It is.
So good.
And that makes us the Goldens.
Yeah, it does.
We drink golden water.
In the golden
I
age.
can see you guys wearing more gold.
Yeah, I need to buy some.
All gold.
You got on gold?
Yeah. That's all gold.
Got
What does that look like? I can't see it, Megan.
That's the top of the necklace. The
Necklace.
chain.
I can only see the top.
Is that the only place where the gold is?
Yeah. Those
What's
are gold.
the bottom? What's the bottom part? Oh, okay. No,
Onyx,
it's not
black
gold.
onyx?
But it's pretty. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's black onyx. I made it.
Oh, black onyx. Ooh, beautiful.
Yeah, it has an Egyptian vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But it was actual gold chain. I bought just enough to do it so that, because it was a little bit more expensive.
Oh, neat.
stunning.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, the golden.
No, I have I'm wanting to do got this idea of a video of wearing golden like silk and doing some beautiful sacred movements for the Shivambu. So looking forward
That sounds
to it.
pretty.
Yeah, just make something beautiful for it. Something, yeah, that honors it in a
Oh, he has something.
This is what I wear when I go to urine therapy conventions and talks. Is these pants?
I like them.
fantastic.
I love the color. Yeah.
I do too. It gets you in the right frame of mind.
Oh, brilliant. Love it.
What is the shirt you have on, Brother Sage? Is that your emblem there?
This
Oh
was
yeah, I need to get one of those. Yeah.
Well, send me a request. I have to go to one of those online print shops and print dozens of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There was a place. You've heard of what is the website? Vistaprint.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
It makes
for
the business
sure.
cards. They had a deal going on where I could buy these for $10 with the emblem and everything on it, and I bought dozens of them. And just have to look. I'm looking for another bargain. Otherwise, it's way too expensive to even produce them.
Okay. Yeah.
What was the name of your Telegram chat again?
Urine therapy does a body good.
Okay.
There's like 280 members right now.
Okay.
And when you guys all graduate, you get to join the Golden Grads group on Telegram. It's just the graduates. This is our exclusive water club.
And then we'll have a Zoom call with them or what?
Well, anything's possible. I mean, these guys have been writing back and forth and having a love fest every day.
No, but I think the point is just that we're in the same Telegram group, so we can chat with each other.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Right, that's how it works.
Oh, I got off of Telegram. I guess I have to get back on it. Okay.
Me too. I'll re-download my Telegram just for this.
Yeah.
Telegram seems to be a place people go where it's not censored.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I loved it too much. That was the problem. So
Me
that's
too.
why I deleted it out, because I was off all social media, and then Telegram came up and I was like, oh, this isn't like the others. So this isn't social media. And the next thing I know, I'm like deep in conspiracy. I'm like, I got to get off here. I got to get back to
I was meant to focus on myself, and then I was just super, yeah. So I deleted it like a month and a half ago, but I'll just take away the groups and stick with just the urine groups.
Yeah, that's what I've had to do. Take all my other information overload groups out.
Yeah, and I'm looking at memes for like an hour. I'm like, what did I just do for an hour? Looking at memes.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother Sage, would you mind repeating the Telegram group again?
Yeah, I'll type it in there.
Well, I just tried to find it and I can't find it by searching.
Okay. If you reach out to me, I can always send you the link.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Also, I'm going to send a link.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sending a link on an email to what I mentioned in the last course on Tuesday, because we'd mentioned Monika Schutt and her husband Amadeus and their friend Notka had done a talk, and it was on a Facebook group. It was a private Facebook group, but she posted on her YouTube channel yesterday.
Oh,
so
sweet.
I sent the link to that so everybody can listen to it.
Thank you.
Good.
How did you send it?
Just by email just now.
Oh, love it.
Oh, you sent it to all of us?
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
You also have each other's email if you want to correspond after this is over.
Yep.
We do?
Yeah, because we've been emailing. Every time I've sent an email, you have everybody's there.
Oh, every time you send it, I have everybody's? Oh, okay.
And brothers as well.
As long as we CC and not BCC, everybody has it.
Yeah.
Got it. Great.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, somebody remind me to make some of these shirts.
Okay.
I've also given out all the shirts with the Shivambu with Shiva and Pavarti. All these shirts went pretty quick.
That's nice too. Yeah.
I mean, just to be able to have those guys on your body.
That's really nice.
Powerful.
Yeah.
There was one thing I didn't know if it would come up, but in terms of like as we drink the urine, one thing that people ask about is then like we were talking about not having the ideal like diet or what we'd want to have and that kind of thing. And then often I'm sure, people say to you, oh, but it'll taste bad. And then you learn over time, like either eat a bunch of fruit last thing at night and then in the morning it'll taste lighter, or the papaya and pineapple in particular have great enzymes. And so those really work on it. But also then if you're drinking herbal teas, it's going to taste different. If you have a couple hours of herbal tea, it's going to usually taste quite different. But this one is really good. This is something in Ayurvedic medicine, or Ayurvedic, it's kitchen medicine, in the sense that it's called CCFT. It's cumin, coriander, and fennel in equal amounts. And you just the seeds, so it's not ground. And you just mix those together and put a teaspoon in a mug or 2 teaspoons in a thermos. And I find this is a more savory sort of effect because you got the cumin, the coriander, and the fennel to it, but it's really good for digestion, but it's also for blood sugar. And it's good for, in Ayurveda, it's good for all the doshas. No matter what your constitution is, it's helpful for your constitution. And I find this also can have a wonderful effect on the taste of the urine.
Fantastic.
How do I get it?
You make it. You buy fennel seed, cumin seed, and coriander seed, and you mix them.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I already have 2 of them.
Yeah,
okay.
That is such a good tip.
Yeah. And so many herbal teas are sort of on the sweet side, and this is more savory.
Yeah.
So
nice.
fennel, coriander, and cumin?
Yep.
Okay.
Equal parts.
Equal parts. And I'll just do, instead of doing a thermos of hot water, which I usually have with me, I'll put 2 teaspoons of that in my thermos, and then I'll even just refill it a few times during the day. And I just get the benefits of those in the water at the same time. So that's been I learned that in this past year, and I've really enjoyed it.
Cumin has kind of that's that one you put in with Mexican. It's a Mexican taste, right?
And Middle Eastern food, and
yes, Middle Eastern too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it's in curry, it's Indian, it's Middle Eastern, it's all over the place. But yeah, that's part of why it's so warming. Like that cumin is really warming. Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait to try it. Okay.
Yeah.
Get those parts anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cheap in that sense. I mean, you have to buy some seeds, but
Cheap.
yeah.
Well, we're coming to the close
Yes, we
of
are.
yet another wonderful class. We're going to meet back on the 8th. There's no, is there a World Urine Therapy call this weekend? No, next weekend on the 12th is the World Urine Therapy call. So if you ever want to meet some of the speakers from around the world, that's when they come and start sharing with each other.
So we can get on those calls too?
Yeah, I usually post it on social media, the links.
You put it on the Urine Does Your Body Good as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the social medias, as well as the graduates groups. And we've had as little as 4 people and as many as 45 people.
Wow.
We've had Veda Austin on that call. We have Dr. Group on the call. We had Harry Matadine, David Phillips, Lee Robert Molson from Portugal, Tuche, Zagalo, just all kinds of incredible speakers.
Yeah, they're great. I've watched 3 or 4. They're really good.
So where do I go to see them?
Well, if you go to my YouTube channel,
Oh, okay, sure.
youtube.com/Brother Sage.
Okay.
That and the classes. Now, Melissa and I are discussing being able to take all the classes off of YouTube, condense them, maybe add some PowerPoint or not, and use those to market as a pay-per-view.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
This is a lot of time to produce these shows.
It really is. And as much as it's generous for you to offer it to people, there's also value in you charging for your courses and having people understand that they're getting value for benefit of going into that portal or that whatever it is that you create, so they have a paywall and then they have access to it. I really do think this is a valuable library you're creating.
Thank you. As are you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely set that up.
Well, I've got her working on that and got her working on the little booklet, which, one of my teachers is patience, because if I had my druthers, those things would have been reduced like 6 months to a year ago. But I'm not in charge of the timeline. So anybody want a hug before we go?
Oh, yeah.
Water hug.
Lovely.
Virtual hug.
Virtual hug to all the lovely family we have here. All right, then.
Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah.
You too.
See you Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.
All right. If you need to reach out before now and then, you know how to reach me.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Bye. For now.
Bye.